Everybody, big up, big up, big up, big up. Hey boy, United Yardman 876. Back with our next video. Finally. After my little hiatus of not creating videos. Yeah. Work has been a bit, demanding lately, and with Man U not playing football, there hasn't been that much motivation in terms of me, creating content and everything. But there are things that came to mind to speak about, but I just didn't get around to doing them based on, the demands and everything that I have in other areas of my life. So, I don't only do this YouTube thing. You get me? It's just really something that I do as kind of like recreation. It's something I have a passion for. So yeah, I'm kind of just you get me? But as I said, I do have passion for Manchester United, and that's the reason why I created this fan channel. And I will try to do better going forward as it relates to creating content. But yeah, we're getting and creating content today, and that's what matters. We are in the retro kit for Manchester United. I think this was the 1998-1999 season. Yeah, if I know my stuff, think I know my stuff. You get me? Got this jersey from Jersey Nation JA. That's the name on Instagram. So I'm gonna go drop them IG page in the description, so you guys can go over there, purchase your jerseys, the authentic stuff, the clean stuff, the quality stuff, quality. You get me? That alone will deal with. That alone United, the hard man needs something to deal with quality. You get me? So that's why I support the team that I support, and that's why I'm buying my jersey them from Jersey Nation. Now, we'll get right into it. Manchester United play tomorrow after too long. Too long. Like Michael Carrick Ball had us looking forward to Manchester United playing again. The 1-2 touches, the tiki-taka football, the quick counter-attacking football. It was beautiful to watch. Those last 5 matches that we played, haircut aside, they were beautiful. Michael Carrick has been doing a very good job with the club, and I am happy to see that we've turned things around from kind of what it was, like kind of gloomy under Amarim. But we have completely put that behind us, and we're just focusing on what is in front of us. We play against Everton. Everton are, and this is no disrespect to Everton, they're not a top 6 club. They're not a top club, but at the same time, the Premier League is a league where anybody can beat anybody, and that is just the harsh reality of the league. You will be first place in the league, and a club that is 16th or 17th in the league that aren't performing will come and they will draw against you in the last minute, or they will score a late winner, a last minute winner. Break your heart, and you think, say, oh, you didn't get a draw from it, and them just pull a goal out of nowhere. It might sound like I'm taking shots at Arsenal, and in reality, I am. Yeah. So, like, for instance, Arsenal against Wolves. So, the Premier League is just to me, as much as people might argue that, it's not, but I still think easily the Premier League is the most competitive league in Europe and in the world. And that's why really the measure of the quality of a player is determined based on whether or not he played in the Premier League at any point in his career. It's just the Premier League is the premier league. You get me? And that's not to say, obviously there are clubs from La Liga, the Bundesliga, the Eredivisie, from League One. There are clubs from there that can beat Premier League clubs. I'm not saying that clubs from other leagues can beat Premier League clubs, but in terms of just the competitiveness, the Premier League is where it's at. So, us playing against Everton, I'm not trying to say that it's a guaranteed win. by no way, shape or form am I saying it's a guaranteed win, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a match that I expect us to win. I expect that we should go forth and take the fight to Everton and win the match and come away with the 3 points. Now, based on how I've seen our matches go. Gabby, can you close that door for me, please? Thank you so much. So based on how I've seen our past probably 2 or 3 matches go, Michael Carrick has gotten his team selection right. Obviously, if it's a case where we're winning our matches consistently, we haven't lost a match. However, I do think against Everton and against the centre-back pairing that they do have, I don't think having Brian Mbeumo playing as that centre forward, I don't think he's going to work against Everton. Don't get me wrong, the front 3 that we've been playing with is a front 3 of quality. And yeah, we can knock the ball around them and we can get goals from, like some cheeky set pieces and, just like open play football. We score a lot of goals from open play, especially having somebody like Bruno Fernandes behind the front 3. So I'm not saying that if we don't start Sesko tomorrow, we can't win. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think for the type of match that I am expecting Everton to come with a certain game plan against me, I think we need Benjamin Sesko. I think they're going to be playing with more of a low block. That's kind of what I'm predicting. I don't think they're going to really jump out at us and take the fight to us. I could be wrong, but I think they're going to be playing with a low block. And it's going to call for a lot of crosses into the box. Now, I think Mbeumo's position is absolutely fantastic. But the centre-back pairing that Everton has, it's going to be harder for you to just use positioning and kind of beat that centre-back pairing. I think, like, we're going to need to swing some cross in our box, and I think Sesko definitely is tailored and suited towards that type of game. I want to see Sesko in the starting 11. I need to see him in that front 3. I would want him to play up top. I would prefer to have Mbeumo on the right. If he plays Ahmad on the right, I'd have no problem with that either, because Ahmad is quality. And then the left is Acuna alone can play up on the left. I would leave the midfield and the defense unchanged. I think what we can do, if it's a case where we have a command of the match from early on, we can give some minutes to Heaven and Euro. I've seen that they've been putting in some extra work. I think they went to Dubai or something like that to do like some extra training. So clearly they want to be involved. They want to get more game time, and they've been good. Heaven and Euro have been really good for the club. So if we have like a 2-0 lead or a 3-0 lead in the 60th minute, very ambitious, but you want the best for your team, we can drop on Heaven and Euro, give them some minutes and everything, being that Delete is, like completely out for the next couple of weeks, I think. But yeah, give them some minutes. I also want to see Shea Lacey given a chance as well. That brief spell he had against, I think, Burnley, where he did come on and take 2 long-range shots when nearly catch out the goalkeeper, one hitting the crossbar, one just barely wide. Yeah, he's a talent, and I don't know if it's okay. I think JJ Gabriel is too young to come on in the Prem, so we're not going to include him. But I would start Sesko, Cunha, Mbeumo, leave the midfield the same, leave the defense the same. Senny Lamens is untouchable at this point. And yeah, I'll give some of those kids minutes. Now, somebody had asked me or said, who would I start from a Everton and Manchester United combined 11? And again, no disrespect to Everton, but there's nobody on Everton's team getting into a Manchester United and Everton combined 11. I think it's night and day. So, again, Manchester United right now, I just think with the players being informed, there's nobody from that Everton team that I would put into my Manchester United team right now. Nobody. Like, absolutely zilch. The team is just that good. yeah. Now, another interesting thing I found is that we have been linked. We've been linked to midfielders for the longest while, Baleba and the whole works. You guys know who we've been linked to read the whole midfield thing. Adam Wharton and Anderson and them people there. But an interesting signing that we've been linked to is Sandro Tonali. Now, Tonali is 26 or 27, I think, so he's in that prime of his career. And this to me is so you see the age that we signed Bruno. I think we signed Bruno when he was like 28 or 29. Signing players like at that point in their career, that's the type of business I want us to be doing. Tonali is already Premier League proven, so it's not even a case where he would need time to gel in the league. And then with Casemiro leaving in the summer, bringing in somebody who's in the prime of their career, and then integrating them into that Manchester United team while they've already been proven in the Premier League, I think that is a brilliant bit of business. And I think, obviously Adam Wharton and those other players are Premier League proven, but they're still young. And I think having somebody beside Kobe Mainoo who is in their prime, who is, playing at their best, having somebody like that beside Mainoo who can still offer a bit of guidance. So he's not at the age of Casemiro who's seen and done it all, but he still has much more experience than Mainoo. Having somebody like that beside him would bring out the best in. I think Tonali is a brilliant midfielder. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. People saying he's injury prone. I don't think Tonali is injury prone. Yes, we've seen that he's had some injuries for Newcastle, but that doesn't this narrative that some people create, where they're like a player is injury prone, like when they said Matthias de Ligt is injury prone, and when you check him stats for him, they play for Bayern, he was one of their more available players. I don't know what you use for justify a player being injury prone or not, but Tonali is not injury prone. He's not. He's one of the most consistent starters for Newcastle, him and Bruno Guimaraes. But anyways, as I say, probably gonna have a different metric gonna use for measure certain things. I don't use that metric. But I would jump at the opportunity to sign Sandro Tonali. He's class player, class. I don't know if it's a case where he is our priority signing right now. And to be honest, if we don't get him and we get a Baleba or we get a Wharton or we get Anderson, I'd still be happy. Those are still quality players. Anderson and Wharton, they've been showing up in the league. Them a show up. Believe you me. Like them a play some ball. But I think in terms of the race for who we would want to sign right now, for me, with the new rumors, if I had known from the jump that Tonali was one of our interests, I immediately rank him over Baleba, over Anderson, over Wharton. He's just quality, and the timing of it all, like where he is in his career, I would say just get the business done. Get the business done. Yeah, sorry about that. Duty called. But another thing that has been a talking point, not just now, for the past couple matches that he's won, the whole thing of Michael Carrick. And I think I've spoken on this several times on the channel, but it doesn't hurt to talk about it again, because at the end of the day, it's relevant to the club now. We obviously are in a position now where we have a caretaker manager, and United haven't decided permanently on what they're going to be doing going forward, if they're going to give Carrick the job or if they're going to be looking at other options like a Luis Enrique, Xavi and Zidane and all that. Yeah, a whole heap of names, a lot of names. Thomas Tuchel and Mauricio Pochettino and all of that here. All good coaches. But at the end of the day, this club, all play for, even though a lot of those other managers were players and they even have played in the Premier League as well, some of them, playing for this club is different from playing in any other club. Playing for Italy, playing in Spain, playing wherever you play. I think the reason why Zinedine Zidane was so good at Real Madrid is because he understood what it meant to play for Real Madrid. He was one of Real Madrid's biggest ever players. And again, we can reach a point where, maybe Carrick, I pray not, doesn't win as many games as he's winning right now. But I always think it's better when you're being guided by somebody who's been in the exact same shoes that you have been in. And a lot of people will refer to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and be like, oh, he was here and he flopped or whatever. When Solskjaer was fired, we were 6th or 7th. And we were losing a lot of matches back to back, and the board made the decision. But people also tend to forget that a lot of the signings that he wanted, Erling Haaland, Jude Bellingham, Moses Caicedo, and this is before Caicedo moved to Chelsea. This is when Caicedo was unknown at Brighton, and I think we could have get him for like a 14 million or some ridiculous price. And Bellingham was really cheap. This is before Bellingham went to Dortmund, that Solskjaer was interested in signing Bellingham. So a lot of the signings that Solskjaer wanted, he did not get. And we've seen what those players have become. So I think if Carrick is given a chance to be at the helm and get the support from the board in terms of like players that he would want, and don't get me wrong, he's inherited an excellent squad. A be a quality player in a Man U side right now if you really look upon it. But if he's given the backing of the board, I personally do not see why Michael Carrick should not be our permanent manager, going forward. That man has played for the club and him understand the weight of the badge. Me personally would have given him a chance for just show what him can do. Now, we're not going to make the video run too long. We play tomorrow, and I'll definitely give a post-match analysis tomorrow. That's what I live for, you get me, I say? So, yeah man, United, the Yardman 876. We are signing out, alright? Big up on yourself.